Welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio this morning, a little after 8 o'clock. As we get going today, suddenly a little shower popping up in the Oxford area this morning. We had some rainfall overnight, a little storm around 4 o'clock, 4:30 this morning.
I thought I heard some lightning or something.
Yeah, it's the weather portion of your podcast. Yesterday it was Monica Lewinsky, O.J. Simpson, Ted Bundy.
You ever incorporate the weather into your dream when it's middle of the night?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I did that.
Did you really?
Yeah. I had a dream about weather at that point, and then woke up and realized that it was real weather.
When you say dream about weather, do you mean like you dreamed like Twister or a thunderstorm?
I can't remember exactly. I just remember that suddenly in my
your dream it was raining.
Dream, I was having a conversation and it started to rain.
Do you dream in black and white or color?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't either. I don't remember them very well. I very rarely remember dreams. To the point that I've been so like OCD at times that I'll have dreamed something and go, I kind of want to remember that, and I'll almost like make a note in my phone in the middle of the night if I wake up and like
absolutely,
yeah, like hey, just do something to spur my memory here as we're getting going. So we'll talk some Lane Kiffin today. We'll talk some Matt Corral. We'll talk something as we do this thing. We've done 2,000 of them, so we'll figure it out as we go.
It's still 19 days until a game.
Yeah,
it's football season thing. It is football season, but the games don't start for a while.
Yeah, we'll hit that as well in a second. First, tell you about the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford. Download the Speed Pass Plus app. Take advantage of that. Earn points. Save money there with all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. Here locally, you get the self-checkout. Maybe you're self-checking out the lunch special. It's $5.69, 2 sides bread, 32-ounce drink, and more. So come. If you haven't seen it, use it. Get on with your day as fast as possible there with the Oxford Exxon and all Blue Sky locations. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. You call it. You ask for our buddy Corey. Say, hey, Corey, here's the Ford product that I'm thinking about. And Corey says, okay. And he sends you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's really that simple. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service. 662-257-1900. Guest at some point will join us. We've got lots of feelers out. At some point will join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford, also in New Albany. And then starting, today's Wednesday, this evening at 5, Rafters on the Water as well. Be a fun place. It's still hot, still summer. People keep trying to make it fall, and we're getting there, but it's not there yet. So you can enjoy waterfront views, frozen margaritas, frozen daiquiris, all of that out at Rafters on the Water at Sardis.
So, what were we talking about right before the break? Oh, yeah. So 19 days away. It's almost worse than that SEC Media Days lull because you do have practice. You do have things going on, which brings with it the expectation that there's all this news and all this going on, and then you really step back and go, nah.
They're still in
Every
camp.
Practice is just practice.
They're still in camp.
They're killing one another right now. They'll stop at the end of the week. They'll move on.
I asked Lane about it yesterday. He said essentially they're going to continue to kill them through the rest of this week, and then they'll back off mentally.
They'll let them recover a little bit.
Back off mentally, and then next week at some point you back off physically, and you turn your attention to Louisville. But there's no point in turning your attention to Louisville yet.
No.
If you put in a 19-day game plan, the kids would be so overwhelmed.
They would get burned out on Louisville so fast.
Yes.
Because I think he said that what the coaches have done a few things. They've watched a little film. Kind of.
Yeah. Of course. The coaches have watched film all summer on all 12 opponents.
The advanced scouting stuff.
Yeah. When they have a staff of like 800 people, there's lots of people that can do scouting.
I saw the line has moved up again. It's like 9.5 now. Did I see that correctly? Something like that. It was 7 for a long time. Then it was 7.5. I think it's bumped up to around 9.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was looking for it a second ago on OddsShark. But because it's the 6th, it's technically like a week 2 game on here. It's weird on how it's categorized. It's not doing what I wanted to do. So, anyway, but yeah, it keeps going up. is that simply money moving in one direction, or is that anything else that could potentially be? Do you think at this point Vegas is hearing things out of camps or doing things along those lines to manipulate the lines as well, or is it simply just a math equation of trying to get money in the middle?
Vegas has moles in every program.
Mm-hmm.
There are people in the Ole Miss program who are moles for Vegas. Probably get paid under the table to send them some info.
Sure.
So they've got moles at Louisville as well. So they've probably heard some stuff, and then it's money. The money's probably heavy on Ole Miss, and they're trying to balance it out.
Yeah, the money's been big on Ole Miss to this point. Yeah, it is currently 9 here. Looking at it, yeah, it opened at like 6.5 or 7. It moved to 7.5 for a long time, and now it's jumped all the way to 9 in like the last 3 or 4 days.
I'd be inclined to lay 9 points.
I won't be shocked if this thing's 11 or 12 by kick.
The line?
Yeah. If it still continually just gradually moves and moves and moves.
I don't think it's going to be a close game.
They're pretty good at the quarterback.
It's a good SEC team against
an average
to slightly below average ACC team. I sort of know how that works.
They're potentially good at quarterback. They've lost a ton of skill players from last year, and they're missing a couple offensive linemen. Defensively, they've lost a lot. It just even like the bless him. I appreciate him answering our questions, but like even the Louisville guy, he was like, yeah, I don't know. Defensively, it's kind of like whatever. And it's like, I don't know, man. That's
yeah. You want to bring a sack lunch when you play this team.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot for this game to be close. There's so much pressure on the Cunningham kid at Louisville to just score and score and not make mistakes and score. And I just,
that's a lot of pressure.
He's not done that to this extent. The over under is 75 in this game.
Ooh,
that's big.
That's a lot of points. Yet I wouldn't just jump on the under.
Well,
if you tell
what's weird about that is a 75-point over under with a 10-point spread is a weird
but
thing. I mean,
if I told you that Ole Miss won 49-30, are you blinking an eye?
And that's comfortably over.
Yeah. I mean, if I tell, hey,
frankly, that's about the number I have in my head.
Yeah, I mean, 40.
No, I don't because I don't think Ole Miss is holding them to 12. I mean, so
I told you Ole Miss won 45-28. That's still over, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be right at the number.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? It's the first week.
The money line is useless in both directions. I have no interest in either one of these because it's minus 350 for Ole Miss. That's too high.
That's way too high.
There's no value in that.
No.
And for Louisville, it's plus 260, but they're not winning. So you're just throwing money away again there. I mean, if you think it's a close game at all, the 260 is appealing. But
there's not a lot of juice in that orange.
No, and I mean Ole Miss at 350, that does literally nothing for me. Ole Miss is actually 4-1 in their last 5 against the spread as well for whatever purpose you'd like to put on that.
None.
I'm just saying.
That means nothing to me.
Just saying.
On September the 6th, nothing.
They were a 1-point favorite against LSU and lost 53-48. Otherwise, they have covered their other 4 of the last 5. They were a 7.5-point dog against Indiana and then won the game.
Yeah, it's the whole. We haven't talked about this much. The whole Ole Miss got snubbed thing. I'm like, no, they didn't. I mean, they gave up 53 points in their season finale last year. They weren't snubbed. Do I think they're a top 25 team? I do. Do I think you can make an argument that they were snubbed? Not really.
I'm not blaming media nationally for not knowing intricacies of whether Ole Miss's defense is better or not.
No, of course not.
I mean, come on.
No, of course not.
That's not something that.
Well, and even when someone goes, well, they have a whole bunch of starters back off their defense, that sucked.
Yeah, is that good or bad?
I mean, so no one ever does that when it goes, hey, Vanderbilt's got 10 defensive starters back, so they're going to suck really bad. Is that right? I mean, those of us who follow it understand that there's some intricacies and there's some differences, and that Otis Reese only played 3 games and blah blah blah. But I don't fault the guy that's a writer in Nebraska for not knowing that.
Not even a little bit. No.
Not in the preseason. Now, 3 weeks into the season, different deal.
What I thought was interesting about that AP poll from that standpoint, not even about snubbing Ole Miss or anything else, was I felt like more than usual, it was two things. It was the old-time Blue Bloods getting even more deference than usual, and two, a lot of cuteness with Louisiana Lafayette and Coastal and the mid-majors kind of in that 20 to 25 range. I thought that was the other thing I kind of took from it, because from a sheer talent standpoint, Ole Miss is better than Coastal Carolina.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, okay, but
yeah,
it's cute. It's fun.
Sure.
That was a good story last year. The Chanticleers doing whatever they
Sure.
did and all that.
And they'll win a bunch of games this year, but if you dropped them in a real league,
they'd have a tough time.
they'd have a moment.
I'm looking at odds from some other games in week one. We'll obviously do this for Neal's picks when week one gets here.
Yep.
Ohio State only a 13.5-point favorite against Minnesota. Isn't Minnesota like dead and buried? That feels low.
He's still rowing the boat and stuff, right?
He's still rowing the boat, but they sunk last year. They capsized.
Yeah, I think I picked them to finish 5th in their division in the Big Ten.
Did you?
Feels like
13 or 14 feels low.
Feels like a small number.
Now Ohio State's got quarterback stuff. Their offense is probably a little discombobulated right now.
Yeah, it might be discombobulated, but the people they're choosing from are all really good.
They are. Yeah, they didn't bring the.
Yeah.
Who was it? South Carolina. They brought the GA in to play quarterback. Did you see this yesterday?
No.
We'll talk about it in a minute. You didn't see this?
No.
Yeah, the guy that was the backup to Trey Lance at North Dakota State.
Okay.
He transferred to South Carolina to be a GA under Beamer.
Okay.
And their quarterback room is like terrible. So they have elevated him. He has a year of eligibility left, so they have activated the GA to the active roster to compete for the quarterback spot.
That's not a good sign.
It's got like this weird, like semi-necessary roughness deal where Scott Bakula played a little bit in it. Like it's.
Kathy Ireland kicking for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, it would make them more interesting.
Oh, that's for sure.
It would definitely make them more interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Tennessee's a 20. No, sorry. God, this thing's jumped like crazy. They opened as a 27-point favorite against Bowling Green. Now they're a 34-point favorite against Bowling Green.
Okay.
I mean, I know Bowling Green sucks, but that's a huge line.
Yeah, I run from lines like that in real life.
In week one?
Yeah, 34. I don't know. I know nothing about.
You would never actually put $100 on that.
No.
Either way.
No, because no.
Because what? You know nothing about Bowling Green.
Well, you know nothing about Bowling Green, but you don't know what Tennessee's going to try to do. I mean, is he going to, in week one, want to impress the stragglers who are still in the stadium in the fourth quarter of that game by rolling up the score? Or is he going to try to get on film some players that he wants to evaluate?
My guess is he tries to run it up because well, no, not in year one. He should get evaluated. Never mind. It's not like you're dealing with year 3 or 4 where you're trying to save jobs and different things. So that actually should be a fairly easy decision for him, but who knows? Northwestern minus 3.5 against Michigan State. Kentucky minus 30 against ULM. Speaking of weird week one lines, I'm assuming ULM still sucks.
Yeah, I like Kentucky minus the 30.
Well, you love some Wildcats.
I'm high on the Wildcats.
Tulane, Ole Miss's week 3 opponent, is getting 26.5 at home against Oklahoma in the opener.
Ooh. You probably don't go to Sooner Scoop as much as I do. I like their site.
No, can't say I do.
Their photo galleries, all of their players look like.
Hold on, what? Hold on, whoa, back up.
No,
you
I did.
looked at Oklahoma photo galleries.
Well, because it got teased on Twitter, and so I went down that road, and all of their players look like 5-star recruits.
Well, they are, but
yeah, they're going to kill Tulane.
Photo galleries are the most outdated concept in online media.
I understand. I clicked the link, Carrie's link, and next thing you know, I'm 12 photos in.
That is amazing.
Yep.
I can't tell you the last time I looked at a photo gallery when it wasn't searching for a photo that I needed for something.
I wasn't proud of myself. I'm just telling you it happened.
Maybe you need to do SC football and beyond. You got too much time to kill on your hands.
I don't have that
at
much
least
time.
hear about some color charts or something while you're doing it. I mean, my God.
That's a blue photo.
Just saying. Penn State and Wisconsin is an interesting week one.
You
game.
should make money on any kind of a venture that you do. One should make money. So in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've made more money by doing nothing, regained my sanity, and gotten time back. I mean, that's a win.
Wisconsin minus 4.5 against Penn State in the opening week. That's actually an interesting week one game. I like that one.
Actually, kind of like laying the 4.5 there.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like Penn State this year.
And I like Wisconsin. They're good.
You think the bloom's off James Franklin's rose?
I don't know. They didn't look right last year.
You still think he's a top 10 coach?
Top 10?
Yeah.
Close.
If you're not worried about his personal life or his whatever.
It's close.
And the AD comes down. I know what Grind would say. The AD comes down and says, you're the AD, pick any coach you want. Is he one of your 10 choices? He is.
It'd be hard to completely disregard the personal stuff.
Well, I understand that.
I mean, but yeah, probably. I guess. Kind of. There are other people I just like more.
Sure.
I mean, I'd rather have Pat Fitzgerald as my coach than
James Franklin. From an X's and O's standpoint?
I'd rather have the guy at Stanford than James Franklin. I just think it'd be easier to go to sleep at night.
I didn't ask that.
I know, but I can't get past that.
You can't take that out.
Mentally, I can't get past that.
If you're the warden and you got to pick coaches to coach your prison team.
I want Franklin.
You want Franklin?
Way up there.
Okay, let's do it that way.
We got crime? Nobody. Hey, I didn't see it.
The longest yard needs a coach.
I didn't see it. Did you see it? Oh, it's on video? Erase the video. Oh, the victim said something? Let's silence the victim.
Why are we talking about fall weddings? Somebody get stuck with one?
Grind won't be able to go to the Ole Miss Auburn game because his friend, who's an Alabama fan, chose that day to get married because Alabama's off.
When you're the other team, it becomes a little more complicated. It's why fall weddings in general are
in the
stupid.
South, you just shouldn't get married between Labor Day and Christmas.
You get married in the summer and it's hot as hell.
Actually, I'll open up the last 2 weeks of December. Between Labor Day and the first Saturday of December should be off limits. Then after that, you can do whatever you want to do.
Also, and I will be pissing off at least 200 people when I say this, probably. Don't get married on a holiday. You're not so special that someone should spend their holiday at your wedding.
It's a good point.
Like, hey, I'm going to get married on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day or Christmas Day. It's like, is that really what we want to do with our holiday?
That should tell you something about those people.
That they feel they're important.
They think they're really unless
you guys are in the stream, and if so, you had great reasons why, and I love all of it.
Hold up. Unless you're like going to some remote destination and you're footing the bill for the handful of people that are coming with you, that's different then.
Oh, no, that's different.
Because now you're providing a tropical vacation for a small handful of friends and family.
And that's different.
Totally.
But I'm talking about like, hey, on your dime, travel across the country.
To attend the one at the First Methodist Church.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong.
Probably got like some friends. That...
Ginger's offended. She says, I will defend fall weddings. I had one. There were seriously no good games that day, and we still had TVs at the reception in case people wanted to watch. Also had the reception at a football stadium. Okay,
you have to have TVs, and
yes.
I have a hunch Ginger will fall in this category. You also can't be pissed off when people are really focused on games.
Yes.
It has to just be cool that that's a part of your wedding.
I get it. You're watching Georgia, Tennessee. I get it. I get it.
You're here. I appreciate you. Have a beer.
We're going to go cut the cake. You might not come watch.
And then actually, Avery's got a decent point here too. Says you went to a pretty fun wedding reception on New Year's Eve with a full buffet and open bar. I don't like New Year's Eve, so if it's not something where I really am out of whatever, that does kind of give me something with probably people I like that would be better than whatever else I would be doing on New Year's Eve. If the reception is good and we've got the bar. And,
but isn't that a rule for all weddings, really? I mean, the reception has to be good, or else the wedding is just, what are we doing here?
I mean, we talked about that when I went to a couple years ago where we were split down the middle, and it was like civil war on the hooligans and the non-hooligans.
When you have the reception in Fellowship Hall, it's just never
When you have like the cheese straws and the wine and the sparkling grape juice.
Wouldn't you have been better off just taking that money and putting it towards the honeymoon or a mortgage?
I hadn't been to one of those in a while. God, the number of people were pissing off. Weddings, holiday weddings.
We are offending so many people.
I mean, it's. What were the games that day?
Ginger said no one watched games at our reception. Our friends drank so much that the guy from the venue called my dad and asked if he had any other daughters. That's awesome. Doors Rules 28 says weddings are overrated. Overrated, underrated weddings.
The amount of money spent on weddings is stupid.
I know. Sometimes
I don't think
sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll have like a premonition about something.
Yeah.
Because it would sort of depend on who your daughter was marrying.
Sure.
Like Laura married me, and so her parents didn't have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
But her sister got married into like a big Birmingham family, and it was Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, sure. Weddings, in theory, are not overrated. Receptions, in theory, are not overrated. But the amount of capital and money and whatever we spend on obsessing over them is very overrated.
Well, when you think about...
I was actually very ashamed of my friends. If I remember correctly, I got a call from the venue, from the reception, like the next week, and they said, "Hey, you need to come pick up an envelope," and it was money left over because they didn't drink the allotment.
Oh.
Actually got cash back the next week because it was an open bar, and they did not drink the full amount that we had paid for the open bar.
That was pretty honest of them to tell you.
Yeah, I got like $700 back or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Something like that. So, continue this assault on all women in the podcast world in a second. I'll tell you about community mortgage.
Our numbers were starting to get to like 8-9%, and now we're just killing it. We're just destroying it right
I mean, look, those shirts are only going to sell if they're true. So here we go.
The shirts say 4%, damn it, and we have to get back to that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys aren't going anywhere anyway, so it's great. Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Seto County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. You're getting local underwriting and understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We're also brought to you by Dead Soxy. DeadSoxy.com is the place to go. Best socks you'll ever put on your feet. They have a promo code at checkout. Go to deadsoxy.com, enter the promo code Rebel Grove at checkout. Get 25% off your entire order. If you've never tried Dead Soxy, you really should. Whether it's the no-shows, if you're like me and you don't like your feet getting all hot in a pair of shoes, but sometimes you don't want to look weird with like Nike socks.
Sure.
Some people can do the shoe thing without a sock and they're fine. Some people can't, like me, and the no-shows have been an absolute game changer. So check them out at deadsoxy.com. We're also brought to you by 7 South Tailgating. 7 South currently booking single-game, multi-game, full-service packages. They have availability for any and all services and game selection still, so hop on the internet or on your phone, 7southtailgating.com, submit a request, or call them directly at 662-321-1682. We're also brought to you by Game Changer Patch Company. Speaking of receptions and weddings and hangovers and the like, the next time you're headed to one of those big shindigs, make sure you've got Game Changer Patch Company in your pocket. They have developed their own custom blend for treating hangovers to help reduce dehydration, prevent sleep deprivation, and help process alcohol. The only 2-patch system available in the market. The warm-up patch is used before or while you drink, and the overtime patch is used after you've been drinking and while you sleep to get you ready for the next day. Ask me how I know. But you can try it for yourself at GameChangerPatch.com. Enter the promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. We're also brought to you by Automation and Control Systems, LLC, Clay McNutt. They're in Baldwin, Mississippi. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider and a Rockwell Automation Recognized System Integrator. ACS has a full-time, dedicated emergency service and troubleshooting staff and a UL 508A panel shop. They can custom tailor software packages, custom design electrical control panel solutions, and much, much more. ACS can service and install Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley, Siemens, ABB, Square D, and many other manufacturers. For more information or to get in touch with them, go to acsllcms.com or call 662-601-4381.
Podcast also brought to you by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com is the website. Go to the events page. It's everything going on this week and every week there, including where to stay, where to eat, what to see, and more. The Eat in the Street is going on next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. Celebration of the new Jackson Avenue area that has opened up there, kind of in front of Funky's, all through the area of Jackson Avenue, East Jackson Avenue, sorry. So they're going to set up some tables. You can pick up carry-out. You can sit. You can eat. They've got plenty of music. Family activities are all throughout the day and much more. 5 to 9 o'clock is the music, including Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors headlining it. So that is next weekend. Good stuff for everybody in your family. Again, visit oxfordms.com/events. There is a certain... You've got all your family and friends together. Like, I understand the purpose of the wedding from that standpoint.
Sure.
And I say we'll move on, but we really don't have a lot of topics today. So I'm almost done. And I will say, it's been 10 years, and we're still talking about things from rehearsal dinner. Like, there's insight. There are memories that only are because of that occasion and
Sure.
that situation that are very relevant. And the one thing that I think, if you've got a road game where nobody's traveling to the primary school that everybody's following and covering,
Mm-hmm.
and you're cool with it almost being kind of a football thing, I could see a lot of value in almost making the road game watch party your reception a little bit, like where everybody's dancing and having a good time, but then you've got the games and whatever. I could actually see that being an incredible kind of value there to
Sure.
hit both ways. But that still doesn't have grind when it's an Alabama wedding and you're an Auburn
Well, that's
guy.
the thing. What are the odds of everyone at the wedding reception being the fan of School X?
But, do you not do it because you piss off 2 people?
No, but you could just do it.
I'm just asking.
But you could just do it in May, and nobody would care. You could rock.
Well, maybe they can't get it done in 3 months. They don't want to wait 15 months.
Oh, that's true. Look, man, I can't solve all of the world's problems, okay? That's just not my job. I'm here to break down football, hardcore football. That's what we do.
Well, what you've done, yes. It's true.
I wrote a lot of football yesterday.
You did. You wrote about Henry Parish yesterday.
I did. I said, who are we getting? And they said, Kiffin, Sonogo, and Parish. And I said, whoa, hold up. Henry? Henry's coming? All right. You should have told me. I would have worn my nice clothes.
You'd have been so upset had we gone the other way, and I had yesterday.
I would have been heartbroken.
Yeah, if I called you, go, hey, guess who we got today? 25.
Yeah.
That's who we got today.
Henry walked in. I'm like, hey. He's funny. It's the first time I ever really talked to him. It's some funny quotes.
So many things. I just don't even know where to go.
Look, I think he's really good. I like watching him play football. That's it. Everybody's like, what is your deal? I'm like,
How many touches a game?
For him?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they're going to try to find him 15 to 20 touches.
You think it's that many?
Yeah. You talk to people on the staff
I guess
about
my
Henry
point,
Parish,
though, is
their eyes light up.
we got one ball. You want Ely to touch the ball 15, 20 times.
Yeah,
Parish touched the ball 15, 20 times.
yeah,
You'd like Braylon to catch 5 to 8 balls a game.
at least.
Snoop's going to get some inside carries.
For sure.
There starts not being a lot of ball for some other dudes.
Well, if all that Ely and Parish were running backs, I'd buy it. But I think they're both going to be in the slot. In fact, I think it's one of the reasons that we're getting locked out of practice. I think they're going to switch it up a little bit this week. Try some different things.
Mm-hmm. Because you think Parish is going to catch some balls.
Oh, if you told me there were some formations where Connor, Ely, and Parish were on the field at the same time, I'd buy it. And no, I haven't seen that in practice. Just guessing. Look, you have two of the more creative minds in college football in your coaching staff, in Kiffin and Levy. They're going to use the weapons at their disposal. Anyone that watches Parish knows he's a weapon. They're going to use it. You know how high I am on Jerry and Ely. There are some things where I think Parish is better.
Yeah.
He's gotten bigger, hadn't lost his speed. That second cut is amazing.
Yeah, the second cut.
And there just aren't a lot of guys that do that. You can't coach that.
Because every SEC back's got the first cut.
Yeah.
That makes you an SEC back. Is you got the one and you're.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like Snoop, he's a really good one-cut runner.
Sure.
And that's not a knock on him.
No, of course not.
That is.
No, I mean, I think Snoop's
he makes a cut and he gets downhill quickly.
I think Snoop's going to play on Sundays.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Is there a ball for Bullock this year?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, people are going to get banged up.
Yeah. Assuming there's not a moderate injury in the backfield.
It's going to be hard to find a lot of carries for him in that regard, I would guess. I know they really like him. Hell, they like Woolard.
And there's just no ball.
No, he's very dependable. But no, I mean, that room's deep. But two of those cats are gone after this year.
They had guys back out there, by the way, yesterday from a banged-up standpoint. So
yeah. Kiffin, who has never, to my knowledge, lied to us.
He doesn't lie about it.
Told us that there's no long-term injuries yet. Now, I don't know what short-term means. I mean, short-term could mean 4 weeks. I mean, there's some guys that, are banged up. Braylon Brown, John Rice Plumlee, Orlando Amana, Tavius Robinson. There's guys that are out. I don't know when they're coming back. And Lane's not going to give us that information.
Amana was at practice yesterday.
Yes.
Dressed.
Yes.
So I'm assuming he's all right.
Yeah, I think so. And he could be, at this point, just out there getting some mental reps. He's fine.
Well, I mean, look. He probably had to acclimate a little bit from a straight heat standpoint. Because, I mean, I don't know what it's like in Utah, but I got a hunch they don't have our humidity. That first week.
I've never been to Utah. But I'm going to guess you're right.
I haven't either. I feel like I've had a layover in Utah, but that doesn't
really
count. Yeah, you don't.
No,
if you don't leave the airport, you didn't actually.
That's true.
I don't care. If I had to do a list of states I visited, that's not one of them. Like if you're in an airport only, that does not give you the right to claim the state. Because there's still a lot of states I haven't been to. I haven't traveled.
How many states have you been to?
I've never done the list, but
what's your rough guess? Half or less than half?
Oh, half for sure. Because I mean, if you drive anywhere, you're going to run through several. Yeah. Because I can't think of a state I haven't been to in the Southeast, and then you drive to Omaha. I mean, you hit several more, and I've driven to Chicago. I mean, like you do stuff to meander around. I've hit a lot in like the D.C., Pennsylvania, Maryland area.
Yeah,
driving around.
Yeah,
so no, a lot. I've never been to Oregon.
I've never been to Oregon either.
I kind of like to go to Oregon. That's one of the ones that.
I've been north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and that's about as far as I've been north on the West Coast. I've pretty much covered California at this point.
You've done north and south?
Yeah. And central, which is really underrated.
Maybe your favorite.
Maybe.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
You.
All right, Luke says simply driving through a state doesn't count as being to a state. I disagree.
Maybe you have to make a stop.
Okay.
Even if it's a gas station, maybe you have to You have to breathe the air in the state outside.
Okay.
Maybe that's the rule, right?
I think so. That's fair.
If you never get out of your car, then no. But if you get out and, well, you're in stuff. I mean, you took their oxygen.
I've been to 35, 36 states, something like that. I want to go to the Dakotas and Montana and all that. One of these days, I'm just going to get in the car and drive. No joke.
Yeah, Jake says Utah has basically zero humidity.
Oh,
so yeah, culture shock a little bit for him from that standpoint. That was not pleasant.
Now, I've told you before, I went to Green Bay in August.
Yeah.
And then flew back into Mobile. And just the difference was suffocating. God, Green Bay in August felt amazing.
Did it really?
It felt incredible. And then you land in Mobile and it's 400 degrees with 8,000% humidity and you just start sweating.
Yeah, see, I think that's too high of a bar, Luke. He said you have to make a dedicated stop to see something unique about that state.
Yeah, I don't like that rule.
That's too high of a bar.
Yeah, it's too no.
Because you could be mundane meatloaf guy who never sees anything unique about any state, and he's just been nowhere.
We know lots of those people.
He might go to New Orleans and
go to Chili's.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to go eat at Chili's or that Popeyes right there on whatever road it's on in the middle you see all the time. And I mean,
yeah,
did he go to New Orleans? I don't know. I mean, Michael Scott goes to New York, eats Sbarro, gets back in his car, comes back home.
It's a great pizza place. That's one of the best scenes in the whole thing because you just howl laughing because he's so excited to go to this New York pizza place.
Yeah.
It's Sbarro.
You ever had Sbarro?
Yeah.
Used to be in the Tupelo Mall as a kid. That was like the treat. That was one of the better restaurants there.
It was a mall stop. Yeah.
What's what Sbarro is for the most part? Aren't they all kind of like a kiosk in thing? I mean,
I don't know.
When
was the last time you went to a shopping mall? People hate us today. I'm sorry. It's Wednesday.
19 days away. I do have a couple topics. We'll get there in a minute, but we're not there yet. Several years. I mean, I've been to the mall in Tupelo within the last couple of years, I would say, probably. That's what I said today. I think a lot of it's closed. Yeah, New York Slice is what he says. I
was really pissed off last night, by the way. I took Carson to soccer in Tupelo.
Yeah.
And so I had in my mind, I had my laptop. I was going to drive to Buffalo Wild Wings. I was going to sit at the bar, work on my mailbag, have a beer, go back, get him, and take him to. And all of Tupelo was at the damn Buffalo Wild Wings.
It was busy?
Yeah, it was packed. I was pissed. So I got to find a place in Tupelo that on Tuesday nights I can go sit at the bar for an hour and work on my mailbag that has good Wi-Fi. Because there's a place right across, there's like a Lost Pizza right across from where they play.
Yeah.
But the Wi-Fi is so crappy that I can't get into our admin.
So you frankly need a decent beer selection and decent Wi-Fi.
That's it.
Those are your two.
Just a place where I can sit and work for an hour.
I do not put ketchup on Sbarro. I only put ketchup on Meat Lover's Thin Crust from Pizza Hut. That's it. It's nostalgia. It doesn't taste good. It's not about the taste. About the nostalgia. I got nothing after you went there. Okay. I thought there was something else in the thread, but I don't guess so. It's actually moving pretty quickly today, which is a good thing, but I'm losing some of the comments.
All right, Grind's got a question here.
Yeah, sure.
As we try to transition to football.
Yeah, that's fine.
He says, Neal, you've admitted to watching and enjoying the run-of-the-mill Big Ten game, and I do.
Yep.
It's like a guilty pleasure.
Yep.
What would the Big 12 have to do for you to have that same interest in their games so they can save their league? Yeah.
Well, okay.
I mean, I'm trying to think of an answer other than they can't.
Your appealing things about the Big Ten are, and we'll tease this because we need to pay some bills.
I like the big schools.
You like the big schools. You like the start times.
I like the start
Frankly,
time.
that's as big as anything.
I like a lot of the uniforms. Here's what I kind of like about the Big Ten, if I'm honest, okay?
Okay.
I've gone to Chicago a few times in the fall, and I love, like, the different bars that's like, okay, this is an Iowa bar.
Sure.
This is a Purdue bar. This is an Ohio State bar.
Yeah.
This is a Wisconsin bar.
Yeah.
And you go in, and all of the people are in there, and they're all cheering for the Badgers or the Hawkeyes or whatever. And for whatever reason, all in one city, I kind of think that's cool.
Okay.
It's kind of appealing to me. I don't know what. And then,
What? Okay.
So when I watch the games and there's like Iowa versus Minnesota, I just kind of like it. I don't know. I enjoy it.
I'm going to say this, then we'll go to break. We'll come back, let you
Okay.
answer this. My only counter to this, playing devil's advocate, is if I go into D.C., for example,
Yeah.
every SEC school has a bar too.
Sure.
So that's not synonymous with the Big Ten.
But I like
and
the
any-
SEC.
What? Okay, sorry. Every Big 12 team.
But no, they don't.
Oh, you don't think so?
No.
Okay, table that. We'll talk about it in 1 second. First, tell you about Northeast Spark. NESPARC, service people across rural communities. 2 packages, the Ignite 100 Mbps or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. I have at home as well. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com. 662-238-3159. Phone services available, parental controls, network security, and more. So call the office, find out if they're in your area. They should be here if you live around Oxford to get the best internet around. 662-238-3159.
Pinpoint Commercial Real Estate. They're based in Jackson, Mississippi. They service the entire state in all commercial asset classes, such as retail, office, industrial, and land. Sam Cox and BB Mitchell are Ole Miss graduates. They utilize their unique skill sets to execute on assignments and increase value for their clients. This week's property spotlight is on the Village at Madison. The Village at Madison will feature 60,000 square feet of restaurant, retail, and professional office space, along with roughly 75 zero-lot line residences, with Pinpoint handling the leasing, I'm having a hard time today, for the commercial portion of the development. If you'd like to learn more about this great opportunity, get in touch with Sam and BB at 601-586-3220. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi. One size fits one at BlueDeltaJeans.com. Go there today, get on their virtual tailor, and you can be measured and design your newest jeans in just a couple of minutes. And Blue Delta will make sure that you're looking great for the first kick of football season in September. You can redeem 10% off your purchase by using the code Rebel Grove at BlueDeltaJeans.com or in the Oxford studio. It's a great time of year to get a pair of Blue Delta's cotton Genos in the works, so don't miss out. Also brought to you by Lammons Fine Jewelry. Lammons at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford has been serving the Oxford area for almost 75 years. From engagement rings to wedding rings to fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry, children's collectibles, and more, Lammons is the gold standard in fine jewelry. LammonsFineJewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777. We're also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air. Comer Heating and Air is the name you can trust. With more than 50 years of professional HVAC experience in Oxford, Tupelo, and the surrounding area, Comer Heating and Air is offering a special fall preventative maintenance agreement to make sure your heating and cooling systems are running in tip-top shape. So get in touch with them at 662-801-1777 for all of your heating and cooling needs. And we're brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. One's in Ridgeland, one is in Flowood. If you don't live in Jackson, it's okay. You can go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram, whether you're tailgating in Oxford or homegating with friends and family. The College Corner has you covered for game day, the largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi.
Also, for all your real estate needs here in the Oxford area, Nick's Tan and Associates. That's nickstanoxford.com, 662-281-1200. You can click the link. And the 321 feature will come out weekly during football season. It was up a couple days ago. You can find it still at rebelgrove.com or in my signature on the message board. Click it, see different ways to search for your next home, whether it be the gallery view, the map view, talk with an agent, and much more. A lot of experience between O'Keefe, Graham, Clay DeWeese, and the rest of the realtors there with Nick's Tan. Again, nickstanoxford.com, 662-281-1200. I've used them multiple times. Use them now for all your real estate needs. So we'll get to this question in a second. I got a couple of different things. I didn't run through that line, those rest of those lines a minute ago. Alabama is a 20-point favorite against Miami opening weekend. That's also obviously in Atlanta. That is on Saturday night, I believe, is when that is. And then Arkansas is a 20-point favorite over the Rice Owls to start the season. So
I'd never bet against Alabama, period. That does feel like a lot of points, but who knows? Yeah. And then I don't know anything about Rice.
I'm oddly cheering against Miami this season, and I have no real reason why. But for some reason, I just
I know what it is. You want the whole specter of, will Kiffin go to Miami? Is that right?
I didn't really think about that, but I mean, I don't know. Is that going to make my days worse or better?
It depends on how it all played out. I mean, I can make the argument for
your
both.
Big Ten game of the week, other than Wisconsin, Penn State. Iowa is a 3.5-point favorite against Indiana in that game that we.
See, I'm all in on that.
Oh, you're all in.
Who wouldn't want to watch Iowa and Indiana play?
Mississippi State's a 24-point favorite against La Tech opening weekend.
Yeah,
you're taking the points.
Probably.
You're riding with the Bulldogs.
Don't know a whole lot about Tech this year, other than I have a niece that's enrolling at Tech in September. Good for her.
This line is coming down. Texas opened as a 14.5-point favorite against Billy Napier and the Raging Cajuns. It's down to 9.5.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
that's a trap spot for the Horns.
I'm telling you, I don't like Texas's opening schedule. They get Lafayette and Arkansas. Those are two really big games for those two teams.
You think they lose one of them?
Chase, I'm not sure they don't lose both of them.
That's the case, and we got a fun year in Austin coming up.
Hook 'em. I mean, look, we can make all the Louisiana Lafayette jokes we want. Billy Napier's built a pretty good team there.
He has.
They've been there for a while. They kind of have some culture. They have some continuity. If I told you that ULL beats Texas, are you just floored?
They beat Iowa State last year.
Yeah, I know. And then they go to Fayetteville. Do you know how big of a game that's going to be in Fayetteville?
And Texas isn't as good as they were in 13 when they did that, or 12 when they did that to Ole Miss, and it was like, hey, it was whatever, but you're not there yet.
No. And frankly, Arkansas probably this year's a little bit better than what Ole Miss was 2012.
Yeah, maybe.
They're in the wrong division.
Yeah.
No, Arkansas 2021 is probably more talented
than Ole Miss 12.
In fact, there's no probably to it. They're more talented than Ole Miss 12.
Yeah. But back to the question here. Auburn, by the way, a 37-point favorite against Akron to close out that.
I'd lay those points.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, Grind says it. He goes, yeah, you're all in on that, but not Kansas State, Texas Tech.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not.
It's also, and Chet makes a good point. It's cold. It feels like football. It
looks like football.
Frankly, it's a little bit. It's enough of a different style of play too to catch our attention than we're getting in the SEC.
Sure.
There's something to that. We're just going to line up and run the ball and do some I formation and stuff that is still kind of fun. It's.
If I watch Kansas State, I'm watching because I want to watch Chris Vaughn's kid play. That's it. I like Chris. I cheer for his kid. I don't have to know one soul to watch Indiana Purdue.
Because the Big 12 runs a lot of the same offense as the SEC, except they do it worse.
They're just
so
not as good.
Why am I watching the same exact product except worse?
Oklahoma State is an SEC team light.
Yeah.
Well, so, I don't want the light because if I can get the regular.
Texas Tech's going to throw it around, but no thanks. I'll watch Florida throw it around.
Yeah, of course.
I'm good.
Yeah. Every time I watch Oklahoma State or Texas Tech or somebody play an SEC team, they get skull-drugged. Big Ten, I'm interested. Northwestern versus Penn State, in. I don't know why.
I get it. I don't have the same interest level, but I get it.
Chet's answer is as good as any. I don't know what it is. You know, what'd you say yesterday about pornography? You know it when you see it?
Yeah.
You like something. You just like it.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't want to watch it all day long.
But at 11 o'clock, it is a great little palate cleanser for what's to come.
But if you offer
day.
me Indiana, Iowa, or Arkansas, who'd they play? Who was the first game?
Rice.
I'm picking the Big Ten game all day.
Well, yeah. Just like you would pick any SEC game
there's
over Iowa versus Toledo.
But there's a lot of people down here that are like, I'm watching the SEC. If it's not the SEC, I'm not watching it. I'm like, I'm not that way. Like, frankly, Florida, Vanderbilt, no thanks.
I'll watch Wisconsin play Indiana.
All day. I know what I'm going to get in Florida, Vanderbilt. I don't really know what I'm going to get Iowa, Wisconsin. I've got a real good shot at 17-13 to start the fourth quarter. And I'm in.
You're comfortable with that.
And I like it. I like it. Here we go. And they kind of have big, bright fields, and they have good uniforms in that league. They have very good uniforms in that league, and it's just
it might be the best uniform league.
It's way up there.
Yeah. And
so you just kind of get in. You're good.
Speaking of the Big Ten, one team that is not going so well for right now, Brett McMurphy reporting that Nebraska in hot water. Nebraska and Coach Scott Frost under NCAA investigation for improper use of analysts, sources told Action Network. Also during pandemic, Nebraska held unauthorized off-campus workouts under the staff's direction to avoid detection by school officials.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. Ask Rich Rod about that.
Did anybody sleep on the couch?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, then it's going to be okay.
Well, they also... Nebraska is like dumb Alabama. They hired Trev Alberts thinking he's going to fix it.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing in the history of college athletics.
That's saying something.
Look, I don't know Trev. He might be a wonderful human being. He doesn't come off as the smartest AD in the country.
Right.
And it's just going back, well, we're going to go get one of us from that time period and we're going to fix it. No, you're not. You're going to suck is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to suck. I mean, I know most Ole Miss people only know Trev Alberts because of the runt comment back in the day. Which he was an idiot for that then too. But he destroyed Nebraska Omaha's athletic department. And then you put him in charge of Lincoln? I don't understand. Like I'm almost excited about the Nebraska train wreck that is upcoming.
For whatever reason, I take great pleasure in watching Tennessee and Nebraska lose.
Look, they were never going to get it back anyway to the level that they thought. And now they're not even being efficient. They're not even hitting whatever their ceiling is now.
No, they're the runt, if you will, of the Big Ten. They might be the one Big Ten team when they play I'm not interested.
In Illinois.
Even then, I'm like this year.
You're interested in Illinois?
Brett Bielema's there.
Okay.
It's going to be comedy.
Okay.
And I kind of cheered for Lovie Smith.
Do you feel yourself being less interested in like Purdue because they don't play Big Ten football? Because they throw it too much?
No, because they're just still interesting. I'm telling you, I love the league, man.
Dude.
I love the league.
What's interesting about this is you have kind of like your middle America favorites, but you don't have a lot of interest in like Michigan State.
Not really.
Who's been one of their kingpins at times over the last 5-8 years.
They don't do much for me. And like a game in East Lansing, the field's green, the uniform's green, everything's just kind of green. I'm watching for aesthetics. I mean, I have no interest. I'm not writing about it. I'm not a voter. I'm not watching the teams to compare. I just watch. For me, it's kind of a true litmus test of what's actually interesting.
Scott Frost at Nebraska in 3 years.
No.
Because they sucked?
Yes.
What's his next gig?
Wishing he could go back to UCF.
Because at that point, with all the realignment, God knows where Nebraska is anyway.
UCF's a pretty good gig. I bet Gus feels born again.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You can't win the Big Ten at Nebraska. The league's too good.
Back to that, though.
You can't win the SEC at Tennessee. The league's too good.
You don't think the Big 12 and the Pac-12 has the number of across-country alumni to like have the bars and the same atmospheres as the Big Ten and
the
SEC
Pac-12 has the alumni, but they don't care.
Well, right. That's what I mean. The actual dedication for those type of environments.
And then the big. I mean, what's left of the big? I don't know enough about Texas Tech. Do they have like a big alumni base in
wherever? Chicago, Pittsburgh,
Charlotte,
D.C. I don't know.
I doubt it. I mean, Baylor. Baylor spent a lot of time at Fellowship Hall. Let's be serious. I mean,
they have a basketball national title.
They do. Davion Mitchell, by the way, dominated the summer league.
Did he?
Yeah, Sacramento. Look, I live with the
Nah.
kid. I live with the kid
Yeah.
who came down and said, "Dad, did you see the Summer League championship game?" And I said, "No, I did not, Carson."
He watched the Summer League championship game.
He apparently watched it on his phone.
The Kings won.
Kings won.
They beat the Celtics.
The Celtics committed 26 turnovers. I did not know that until this morning, but I was informed by my 14-year-old basketball junkie.
You knew how many turnovers the losing team committed in the Summer League championship game.
I didn't know until I was told by my 14-year-old basketball junkie that lives upstairs in my house.
Wow.
Who yesterday wakes up from his nap on his way to soccer and says, "Who do you think's going to win the MVP?" And I said, "Of what?" And he said, "The NBA." And I said, "Carson, they haven't even started the season."
Is the Summer League giving MVP?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I don't know.
I'll ask him.
Ask him.
He
Yeah.
would know. He goes, "Yeah, the Kings only committed 6 turnovers."
Okay.
And you're like, "Do you know your biology right now? Because you are really wasting brain cells."
All right, so we're all over the damn place.
We didn't talk about Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, what did Lane
yesterday.
say that was interesting yesterday?
The big takeaway was that upon further review, the defense wasn't as bad as they thought.
In what way?
The starters did not give up what they thought. It was the backups that gave up. The 2s went against the 1s for a lot of the practice, and that's where a lot of the damage got done. Ole Miss's backup defense could not stop Ole Miss's starting offense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got asked a question about what's the one area of emphasis over the next, few days, and his answer has been very consistent. Depth. It's the one thing. People say, what has to happen for Ole Miss to become a power in the SEC?
Yep.
And the answer is depth. Because otherwise you're counting on luck.
And luck only.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
That doesn't work.
You need depth. So that's, he talks about that. I asked him about Henry Parish. Gave me a pretty good answer there. What else did Lane talk about? He got a lot of COVID questions because the guy from Memphis came to do a vaccination story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 weeks later, which felt odd.
Okay.
So all the kids got asked about the whole vaccine thing.
Okay.
Trying to think. He didn't get asked a backup quarterback question yesterday, which was novel.
Somebody asked on the thread, so I'll post this, but it could have been in the live stream too if you did this. Somebody asked because of depth questions, how many defensive players Ole Miss played against Indiana back in January, just for curiosity.
Yeah.
I have the list up. It's 23 with 21 getting at least 12 snaps on defense.
23 players with at least...
With 23 players played at all.
Okay, 21 got at least 12 snaps.
Correct. Because Clowney got 1 snap and Patrick Lucas got 2 snaps.
Those don't really count.
Jalen Denton got 12 snaps.
Yeah.
That's where
they were really
starts.
beat up in the secondary by the end of the year.
The only players with more than 50 snaps, Dean Leonard, Keydron Smith, Ryder Anderson, Jaquez Jones, Sam Williams, Jalen Jordan, Momo, Otis Reese, and A.J. Finley.
Yeah.
A.J. Finley played 91 snaps against Indiana.
A.J. Finley's one of the more underrated players in the league.
He gets better every year.
He does.
He just keeps getting better. He looks good right now.
And he really, when he and Keydron Smith and Otis Reese are on the field together,
They're
pretty,
athletic.
pretty good safety unit.
Otis Reese played 90 snaps against Indiana.
Yeah. Those guys didn't really come off the field.
Because I would assume Indiana had 91 total snaps.
That's what I'll be interested in early in the season is to see, there's a lot of talk about the young guys, Trey Washington, and I got to refer to my list. I'm sorry. My brain's shot today. Tysheem Johnson, Markevius Brown. He mentioned Markevius Brown yesterday, which was a good sign because they were, I think for a brief moment on Sunday, they were worried that he'd hurt himself.
Mm-hmm.
They've talked about DeMarco Williams some. Curious to see how much, MJ Daniels. They like all those young guys.
Sure.
How much do those young guys play when the games count early? Do they put them out there and go, "Hey, we got to hold our breath here and close our eyes and cross our fingers, but they got to play"? or do they lean on Reese and Finley and those guys? I am curious to see that. Like, how much rotation is there in the first half against Louisville, knowing that 5 days later you're going to play Austin Peay and you're going to get a chance to put those young guys on the field a lot.
So offensively, just for the heck of it, because we've got the list up. Total snap counts on offense. The 5 offensive linemen played all 81 snaps. They did not come off the field against Indiana.
Yeah.
Corral played 79. Drummond 77. Mingo 74. Parrish 49. Because remember, Ely didn't play.
Yeah, Parish had 17 carries in that game.
Yeah, Parish 49 snaps. Casey Kelly 43 snaps. Chase Rogers 43 snaps. Jaden Jackson 39 snaps. Plumlee 39 snaps. Snoop 30. Danis 9. Bullock 3. DeMarcus Thomas 1. Corral put up that kind of game with that offense.
I know. That's what.
No Ely,
we've
no
talked
Braylon.
about that.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of no in there.
Yeah, no Elijah.
Drummond had a big game. He played really well that day.
He has the best hands on the football team.
Yeah.
He doesn't drop anything.
Which allows them to potentially move him around.
He'll drop his first pass now. My fault.
Some wide open touchdown in the opener, and he's just going to tape it.
No, he'll like an 8-yard route, and he'll drop it.
And you'll hear about it.
Oh, my phone will light up. You son of a. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. Oh, podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy and Tyson Drugs. G&M there on South Lamar in Oxford. They deliver locally in the area and much more. They offer MedSync for your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you, whether it be one delivery or one stop there at the pharmacy yourself. Get everything you need when you need it. Remember, if you're a state and school employee in the area and you have an insurance provider who uses CVS Caremark, that's a pharmacy benefit manager. Don't confuse it with CVS Pharmacy. The prescription cards supplied to the employees include the logo. It's identical to CVS's well-known pharmacy logo, but don't worry, you can still continue using your local hometown pharmacy, hopefully including Tyson Drugs and G&M. So I don't have to do anything else, but if you're with one of those big box pharmacies, give your local one a chance, including G&M, 662-236-2222.
We're also brought to you by Pinnacle. They're based in Madison, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states as well. Founded in 1997, Pinnacle provides detailed, specialized investment, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. It's mypinwealth.com. Again, mypinwealth.com. We're also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about traveling, it's kind of running out of summertime, but if you think about doing something this fall, which sometimes is the best time to go to the beach, if you're thinking about a holiday trip, or maybe you're already looking ahead to next summer, get in touch with John. Just give him some parameters and a budget. He'll give you a ton of options, and no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're looking for a Nissan vehicle, that is the place to go. It's just off Interstate 55 in Grenada, Mississippi. Or you can go online. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. I'll have a mailbag up later this morning, I hope. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt, Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial and residential family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. And we're brought to you by Alpha Specialties, located at 1670 Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. Alpha Specialties is the premium trailer dealership in Mississippi. They've got Load Trail, which is the premium brand trailer, the highest quality utility equipment dump and gooseneck trailer being built today. They also have Hallmark cargo trailers, and they can work with third parties to have game day trailers and concession trailers built just for you. For podcast listeners, they've got spare tires and wheels starting at just $100, a full selection of trailer parts and accessories, hitches, winches, straps, and more. Give them a call at 601-932-9798 or check them out at alphaofms.com. Make sure that you tell them you heard about Alpha on the MPW Digital Network of Podcast. And we're brought to you by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylists hand-select pieces from top designers from work to lifestyle to nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more at The Rogue, 4450 I-55 North in Jackson, or therogue.com.
So, let's see. Let me go to the top. Bill Connolly put up his top 20 college football's 25 most important players for 2021.
Okay.
Several of SEC names on the list. Derek Stingley on the list after he was potentially the best player in the country in 2019. However, last year, pretty banged up, injuries affected him. Connolly points out that LSU's automatically a little better if he's just at his pre-injury form, because in 2019, from an ESPN QBR standpoint, quarterbacks throwing at Stingley had a QBR of 23.4. That's a 0 to 100 scale there for Stingley.
He's a stud.
They threw at him 92 times, and it resulted in 31 completions, 6 interceptions, and a raw QBR of 23.4.
Okay.
So there's that. Matt Corral is listed on the list. He is under the title of spoiler quarterbacks. Says plenty of quarterbacks could pilot an upset that turns the title race, even if or their teams aren't quite strong enough to do it repeatedly. Under Corral's paragraph, Ole Miss's fortunes will be dictated by if and how much a dismal defense can improve, but the offense is capable of winning a game by itself, and Corral, like his head coach Lane Kiffin, absolutely knows it. He averaged 334 yards passing last year in 2020, threw at least 2 touchdowns in 9 games, and threw at least 5 interceptions in 2. Ole Miss gets shots at Alabama and Texas A&M this year, and both the Tide and Aggies better put their track shoes on. So
it's more than fair.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how good he looked in the practices that we saw.
I know.
It was like, whoa.
He's spinning it.
Well, he was really spinning it. I thought he was more accurate. I always hate doing stuff like this because it makes you sound really weird. But Jonathan Mingo said it too, and I asked Kiffin about it, and he agreed. I think Matt's in even better shape. He's always been in pretty good shape.
Yeah. SEC quarterbacks aren't in bad shape.
I'd like to be as in shape as he is, but
yeah, sure.
I think he's gotten stronger. I think he's a little fitter. I think you see it, and there's just a ton of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
There's no swimming at all. He's in total command of what they're asking him to do, and just watching body language, you can tell Kiffin's very comfortable with him. You can tell Lebby's very comfortable with him. There's a lot there. The one thing that I think will be interesting to watch over the course of the season when the games get rolling is that Corral, this is going to be an interesting thing to see his development in this regard. And this is going to be something that is a transition from this level to the NFL level. He's so competitive that one of the things that he's got to learn to do consistently, Chase, is that some plays are an L.
Mm-hmm.
Not every play's going to work.
Let it go.
Throw it away. Get rid of it. Live to play another play. Don't try to get the extra 2 yards in the first quarter of a game against Austin Peay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to punt this time. Some of that. He's got to get through that. It's like I've told you, the risk of being a little repetitive. I think if you talk to NFL people and said, what would you guys like to see from him? They'd say a little bit of early adversity. Let's see how he handles it. Because they like him. I mean, you watch NFL scouts watching Corral and they're scribbling. Because I did it the other day. I watched Seattle and New Orleans and Atlanta all standing there scribbling. Yeah. Furiously.
Yeah.
Watching passing drills.
Seeing things we don't see.
Yeah, watching things that we don't know to watch for.
Yeah.
But, like I told you, if you polled 10 NFL people and said, hey, you're at the Ole Miss-Arkansas game in Oxford this year, what would you like to see in the first series?
A mistake.
10 would say, I'd love to see a pick. Make a bad decision, throw a pick. You say, why? Because I want to see him forget it, bounce back from it. Because last year when Odom lured him into a mistake, he kept making it. I want to see his growth. Personally, I think Matt's grown a ton.
Yeah.
I don't think what happened in Fayetteville last year would happen again.
A little bit of a sidebar here, but connected. Texas A&M, obviously one of the upset games for Ole Miss this season. They still have not picked a quarterback. Haynes King or Zach Calzada for A&M. Connolly about them says A&M's got a loaded skill core and a potential top 10 defense. We won't quite know what we need to know about the Aggies until we've seen both the remodel line and the guys who line up behind it. King is a runner-gunner playmaker, and Calzada had one of the best arms in the 2019 recruiting class. And if A&M is to threaten for a college football playoff spot, one of them will probably have to do something predecessor Kellen Mond couldn't, hang 30-plus on Alabama.
Yeah, it's funny about A&M, and they're going to be really good on defense. But when a team weaknesses, when you say, okay, well, give me some areas of concern. Okay, quarterback and offensive line. I'm like, whoa, those are big red flags. I mean, that offensive line issue is a big deal. I mean, I've seen really good defenses on teams that didn't win games.
Sure.
And they're loaded on defense. I mean, they're special.
They're good.
I mean, they're special. And they've got some skill guys, and they've got some running backs, and they've got people that can do things. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't have a quarterback and your offensive line's shaky, you're vulnerable.
Another interesting quarterback race, as we mentioned earlier, is Ohio State. What might happen there? Looking forward a little bit. So.
We used to have a dog named Miller.
Did you?
Yep.
Y'all did.
Yeah.
Was he the better Frisbee catcher?
Yeah, he was a great Frisbee catcher. He was kind of a jack of all trades.
I thought he was too.
Yep.
Yeah. And Gus was your third lab, right?
Gus was our third lab.
That's what I thought.
And then Rizzo's our fourth lab.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you rename your dog at this point?
No, you don't. You
Too
can't
late.
rename the dog.
He's 4 years old.
You can't rename the dog. Yeah. So.
You don't even know what I name him at this point. I don't even know who plays for the Cubs anymore.
Who does? Really? No one will.
They won last night.
Yeah.
Snapped the 12-game losing streak. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah. I hope we have some guests for you as the week moves on. Surely to God, somebody will say yes before tomorrow. So appreciate this potpourri of a podcast today as we hit plenty of topics and entertain you guys.
People hate us today.
The season hasn't got here, and again, you're either with us or you're not at this point. It's been a long time. I highly doubt somebody just said, you know what, there's a show I'm going to check out today, and if so, come back tomorrow and we'll try it again. But
yeah,
it's kind of what we are, though. You're not going to get the other, and everybody's pretty aware from that.
We can do this
by now.
Break down the roster by jersey number.
Yeah, tomorrow we will start with number 1. We'll go through number.
We have to start with number 0. Number 0, Lakia Henry. He's a Red player, 5'11", 235 pounds, senior with 2 letters from Vidalia, Georgia, Dodge City Community College out there in Kansas.
Yeah, in that tone for 55 minutes.
And then they have one player at number 1. It's Jonathan Mingo. He's a wide receiver. 6'2", 215 pounds. He's kind of a periwinkle sort of player. He's a junior with 2 letters from Brandon, Mississippi, Brandon High School. There are people that do those shows.
I'm very aware.
I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I know.
Ask me how I know.
Enjoy your day. Enjoy the Henry Parish story that's up at rebelgrove.com. More content coming, and we'll be with you again tomorrow morning. So take care. Be safe. Talk to you soon.